Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. And today's video, we're going to be doing a $2,500 build. I think it's $2,500, anywhere between $25 to $3,000 build that we're doing now. It's gonna be for my boy Justin. He's the one that hooked me up with the PlayStation, as you guys can see right there. That's his PlayStation actually, but he's the one that hooked it up for me. So I'm doing him the favor and I'm going to be building him a PC. So let me show you all the parts, everything that's going to be going inside the build, and we're going to start building this right away. So we're first going to be starting with the Ryzen 5800X, if the autofocus can work. It is an 8-core, 8-threaded processor. It's more than enough to handle anything that he's going to be throwing at it. And we're going to be pairing that with the Asus Tough Gaming OC RTX 3080 that he managed to get. So that's going to be a great pairing. We're going to be adding 32 gigabytes of G-Skill Trident Z Royal. That's all going inside the X570 Tai Chi motherboard. Very pretty looking motherboard you guys are gonna see later. It's gonna look really nice. Obviously everything's being powered by the EVGA Supernova 850GA, Gold Plus certified, all black cables, fully modular. And it's going to look really nice in this build. We have the cooler, which is the Kraken Z73. Not much to say about this, except obviously that LCD screen is gonna look really nice. We have 9 of the ML120 Pros from Corsair. This is the only thing that's gonna be bothering me because there's gonna be a lot of cable management, man. Like, the cable management on this is gonna be a pain in the butt to do because of these fans, but I'm gonna try my best. But that's going to be going inside the Lian PC011 Dynamic Razor Edition. And that's why I'm concerned about it, because the cable management in the back is not the best, but it'll have to do because I am not getting anything else. So, in regards to storage, we're using a 2 terabyte Samsung 970 EVO. That's inside his old computer, so we're just gonna be popping that into this. So without further ado, let's get to building. All right, guys, so I successfully put the motherboard inside of the case. Now the next step is to get this bad boy out over here, the Kraken Z73. I'm going to install this into the motherboard, but I gotta change the fans of this, what is this called? The cooler. I gotta change the fans of the cooler to the ML120 Pro. So let me just take this baby out and install the fans on it before I put it inside this beauty of a case. All right, guys, so this is the back of the case. My cable management is atrocious, and you have to blame that on the Corsair nodes. I also had to get an NZXT USB hub. I don't know if you guys can see it perfectly here in the picture here, but I had to get the hub because he needed multiple USB 2.0 connectors, and the Tai Chi motherboard did not have that at all. So all of these cables that you see here are like 80% of the Corsair fans. These annoying things. Now I see why Lian decided to create those uni fans, just because of the connections and the less cable management is way better than what Corsair has in mind. Corsair really needs to change this up, but I'm gonna try to tidy this up a little bit more. Probably not. This is just way too much. Thankfully, Lian has a cover that goes from right up here to right down there, so that'll make it look cleaner if somebody were to open it, but this is just not good. I love this case, but when it comes to trying to cable manage this is not good at all. But let me finish this up. I'll put in the beautiful 3080 and then we'll test boot it and see if it works. All right, guys, and there you have it for the build. That's pretty much how it went overall, but I definitely want to speak about a couple things that I should obviously mention when it comes to this build specifically. So one thing is cable management. Not the best. I know. I'm sorry, Justin. I'm very sorry the way the cable management came out when it comes to this build, but those Corsair fans are obviously not easy to deal with when it comes to those cables, and I did the best that I could in the beginning, and then in the end, I just kind of just gave up because it was just taking too much time. If you guys are patient enough, you guys can make the cable management really, really nice. I just didn't, so that was it for cable management. Couple things with the hard drives. One, I did have to reinstall Windows. He was having some compatibility issues with some programs, so it was easier to just reinstall Windows because he came from a 5-year-old Intel computer, and then moving that over to a new AMD obviously would have posed some issues, so we did have to reinstall Windows. Another thing was that it didn't want to boot into Windows the first time. We had to disable CSM settings on the BIOS, which has something to do with like the UEFI or the legacy, something like that. Not very well versed when it comes to what that means, but we just had to disable that, and that did solve the issue, and then it booted into Windows without any problems after that. Last issue was we had to update the BIOS. Now, the X570 Taichi did come out of the box with support for Ryzen 5000. It's just that it wasn't stable. It was some issues going on. He couldn't even watch Netflix. It kept resetting itself watching Netflix. So updating the BIOS did solve that issue. And after that, there was no other problems that had to be addressed. So luckily for us, there wasn't a huge ton of problems that we had to deal with. There was a couple little hiccups, but overall it came out really well. I didn't do any benchmarks out of the box when it comes to finishing the build because I didn't have a lot of time afterwards. So I made Justin show me a few benchmarks and I compared it with mine. So here is Watch Dogs Legion. On the top, you obviously see the 5800X, and on the bottom, you see the 3700X, which is my build with my Founders Edition 3080. And you see the differences aren't too big except for the 0.1% lows and for the minimum FPS, and you see that the 5800X runs way better. The improved IPC and the improved higher clocks obviously make a difference when it comes to that, so you will easily see a way better difference. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is pretty much the same thing. You do see higher FPS in this game on the new build as compared to mine's, and you also see those higher minimum FPS way better on that 5800X as compared to my 3700X. So you easily see that the new architecture is way better for gaming, and yeah, that's pretty much it. For $3,000, I think this is a really, really great build. We went with the Kylo Ren Star Wars theme to it, and I think it looks very, very well. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit like. Also, do not forget to subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one.